Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you are new here, welcome. My name is Melissa. Today I am doing a meal prep, food prep video for you guys. I will be prepping most of the items that I got in my recent farm share. If you haven't seen any of my recent grocery hauls, I've been including my farm share for the season with my grocery hauls, as well as I did a what's in my farm share for the first week because it was just so many items. I wanted to share it in a separate video. And I also did a food prep recently, another food prep that was a bunch of my farm share items as well. So I'll link all that stuff down below for you guys and in the iCards, just in case you want to check those out. So anyway, like I said, this week we are prepping a lot of those items that I got this week, as well as a few other store items and a few little treats as well for the family. So I'll just go through it really quick. I have like a head of lettuce here. I have some escarole that I'm going to be making an escarole soup, which is also good because I also have some fresh celery, as well as the carrots, and also the celery and the carrots I will be cleaning and cutting and putting aside for snacking. My son requested some carrots, so I grabbed those for him, and it is a huge bag, so it's going to be, you know, like I said, it's going to be double duty for the soup and for snacking as well, just like the celery. I have a bag of like some mixed greens. I'm just going to wash those up as like, you know, with the lettuce and put those aside for some salads. And then back here, not a produce item, but this is, I have gotten this at Dollar Tree, I think maybe a month or so ago. They might still have them available. I'm going to make some, although it says chewy oat bars, I'm going to make them into like more of like a healthier cookie. Yes, it's still a cookie, but I'm going to show you how I make them a little bit healthier and a little bit more like high fiber as well, for, you know, for the kids, so they can have those as a little special treat during the week. And then I also have like some garlic, which I might cook that up with some of like the greens and things like that. Or sometimes I also will just cut it and prep it ahead of time and put it in a little bowl with some olive oil. I have shown that in one of my meal prep videos as well, that sometimes I will just prep all of it, and then that way throughout the week, if I cook anything else, I have it all ready to go and it's all cut, and I just can scoop it out and have it all ready. And then I also have these collard greens. I'm not sure if I'm going to either cook them, because I do have a lot of stuff for this week, or sometimes what I will do is I'll just wash them and I will put them in the freezer and save them for a later date when I just want a quick meal, and I can just, you know, toss them in a frying pan and cook them up and have it, you know, like, you know, a nice and easy quick meal. I also have these radishes, and I may use the same recipe that I used in my last meal prep video. So I may, if I do the same recipe, I probably won't show the whole thing because I already showed it to you last time, and actually the recipe is from the vegan keto cookbook, so I believe it is copyrighted anyway, but it's like a sweet and spicy radishes. They're really, really good. You bake them in the oven. And then I got some bok choy as well, so we're going to get that cooking and going as well. And then I have these beautiful zucchini. I'm probably going to roast those in the oven. And then I have some cucumbers as well, which I will just peel and slice, and then that way they will be ready for snacking throughout the week. So let's get into this meal prep video, and let's see what we're going to start with. All right, guys, so I think I'm going to start with the cookies because I'm going to get those the dough all made, and then I'm going to put those into the oven. That way they are cooking while I am washing, you know, getting some of the veggies washed up and ready to go. So like I said, they do say chewy oat bars, but I'm going to make them in like sort of like large cookies. Sometimes we call them like breakfast cookies because, you know, like I said, I'm trying to make them a little bit healthier. So this is what, you know, in case you want to see what the macros and everything are. But it just says use a 1/4 cup of butter and 1 tablespoon of water. But what I am going to do instead is I'm going to use the mix, and then I'm going to add some flax meal as well. And then in place of the butter, I'm going to use some fresh applesauce, which I actually had made from fresh apples, and I put them in these jars and froze them. As you can see, the date says May 12th, but it is perfectly fine. I love freezing things in jars like this. It makes it, you know, you're saving on plastic and stuff like that. Just always make sure you leave a little bit of space in the jar, so that way the jar doesn't expand and crack. And then just take it out and let it defrost for when you are, you know, when you are ready for it. So that is basically what I'm going to do for these cookies. So let's get started making some cookies. All right, guys, so I put the cookie mix in the bowl, and then I have about a cup of some flax meal, and then it was about a cup of the applesauce as well. I know the measurements of what it says for butter was a little bit less, but I figure applesauce is a better ingredient to put in there. Gives it more, a little bit better nutritional value. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mix it up just like this at first. And then, I did put a little bit of water as well. I'm going to see what the consistency is of the batter. If you're somebody who's familiar with baking, you kind of know, cookie batter is kind of a little bit thicker. So I'm going to see how it is, and then if it feels like it's like either too thick or too thin, I'll just add a little bit more flax meal or a little bit more water until I get that right consistency. All right, guys, so here is what the batter looks like, and you can see it is a pretty good consistency. It is pretty thick. I didn't have to add any extra liquid or any extra like flax meal or anything. I did add a few extra chocolate chips just to kind of amp up the chocolate in there as well. And I always use the Trader Joe's chocolate chips because they are a really great price. I get them for like $1.99 a bag, and they are completely vegan. So if you are one of my, vegan subscribers, they are a great price for vegan chocolate chips, because vegan chocolate chips are, can be a little bit pricey, some other brands. So that's why I always stock up on them when I do get to Trader Joe's. So like I said, I just added like an extra handful in there. And you can see there is all the oats in there from the mix as well. So these, they're still a cookie, but it is a, little bit of a healthier version. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a large like ice cream scoop, and I'm going to scoop this out onto my cookie sheet, and then we're going to get them into the oven. So here is what they look like after they are all scooped out. And I know this is a very small cookie sheet, so I don't have very many on there because I'm using I'm going to use my larger cookie sheet for baking my veggies. But all good. I'll just do them in multiple, batches. And then this is what the ice cream scoop looks like in case you are not familiar with it. It's just a traditional, old school ice cream scoop. So I really love using that to make cookies. I also have a smaller one, so if you wanted to make smaller cookies, but usually I will do the really big ones because then it's like they get like one big cookie and they are all set and ready to go. But the only one last thing that I'm going to do before I put them in the oven is I'm just going to flatten them out slightly, so that way they will cook, be nice and round as they are cooking in the oven. Okay, so the cookies are in the oven. Now we are going to move on to some of the veggies. While I was prepping the cookies, I had put the carrots in a big bowl, and then I also had the cucumbers over here. And what I do is, just to clean them, what I do is I spray them with this combination. It's just a combination of white vinegar and water, usually about 2/3 water to 1/3 vinegar, or I can do half and half. I really don't measure it. I just pour it in the bottle, and like I said, I just spray it on the veggies, leave it on there for like 10 minutes. Now I know I'm going to be peeling I am going to be peeling the carrots, but I don't know. I probably just overdo it with the cleaning and the peeling and all that stuff. Probably don't need to do all of it, but I just figure better safe than sorry to have them be as clean as possible. It just also gets, rinses off some of that excess dirt and stuff like that. So I'm just going to rinse these off, and then I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the cucumbers first, since there's not as many, and then I'm going to start peeling the carrots. All right, so the cucumbers are all washed and dried. I'm going to just peel them a little bit. I'll leave a little bit of the skins on, but I don't like too much, so I'm going to peel them, cut the ends off. I'm going to use this, tiny little cutting board, but I just love it, and I just don't feel like pulling out the larger one, so this will be fine. And what I do, guys, is I will have everything else laid out for me as well. I have like a little scrap bowl here, so I can put all like the scraps as I'm cutting, and that way I don't have to keep turning to throw things in the garbage, because my garbage pail is kind of like behind me in my kitchen. So that way I can just throw the stuff in there, and then later on just throw everything right into the garbage. And then I have the bowl to put the cut up cucumber pieces right in just as I'm cutting them. So that is a great tip. Just have everything kind of all lined up and ready to go, and it will make your meal prep go easier and much faster. All right, so there you have it. There are the cucumbers. They are all prepped and ready to go for the week. These will be great to throw on some salads or just for snacking. They are so good with a little bit of some like pink Himalayan salt. Make sure you're using the really, really good salt if you put that on there, especially if you are doing the keto diet or vegan keto diet. You know, you really want to make sure you are getting that good salt every day, you know, in your diet. It is really helpful. These, you know, this was really, really quick too. Literally only took me like 2 minutes to peel these and slice them up. And, you know, meal prep does not need to take a long time. It is so easy. So I'm going to put these in the fridge and we are going to move on to the carrots. All right, so here are my carrots. They are all washed. What I'm going to do now is peel them, and I'm going to peel them over my garbage bowl, which has the leftovers from my cucumbers. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to dice some of them into small pieces for the escarole soup, and I'm going to put that aside. And then the rest of them I'm going to, cut up into long like sticks basically for dipping, so my son can have those as a snack with ranch or even some hummus throughout the week. He loves that as well. So that is what I'm going to do next, and we'll see how I'm going to time myself, guys, just so you can see, you know, how long this takes, because I know some people think that meal prepping takes a long time. So I'm going to time myself and see how long this takes to get through all of these carrots, because I know this was quite a bit. There are 2 pounds here, but like I said, I figured it would be enough for my son to have a good amount of snacks throughout the week. All right, so here are the carrots. They are all chopped. Like I said, I chopped some really small for the soup, and then I chopped the other ones, lengthwise for dipping, for snacks. Throughout the week, I just put it in one big bowl. You can also like portion them out into smaller bowls if you want, but I just figured I would just dump it all in one bowl and my son can just grab what he wants throughout the week. And this took under 20 minutes to peel them and to cut them, and I don't have the best knife currently, so if I had a really good knife, probably would have been even faster. So you can, like I said, meal prep is very, very quick. And then, like I showed before, we did the cucumbers. That was less than 10 minutes. And while I was doing both of those, the cookies were cooking in the oven. And here is what they look like. It made, 10 altogether. And they are nice, and you can see they're nice and hearty. They have all those oats and that flax meal in there. So these will be great for the family. Sometimes they will have them like, sometimes people have granola bars in the morning. So this is sort of like my own like homemade version. It's like a breakfast cookie, or they can have it throughout the day as a, quick little snack or on the go as well. So like I said, while I was prepping the veggies, those were cooking. So this took just about around 30 minutes. So look, 30 minutes, we got carrots already done, the cucumbers already done, and the cookies, and now we are going to move on to the rest of the veggies. So now we are on to the zucchini and the escarole. So I'm just going to give these little spritz with the vinegar spray and just let them sit for a few minutes, just like I did with the other items. And then I will rinse them off and we will start prepping these as well. All right, so the zucchini is all rinsed off, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to prep these first so I can get these into the oven, and then we will start chopping up the escarole. But I always like to, if I have an item that needs to be cooked, I like to kind of get that going first, and then I will do like the other items that may not have to be cooked at the same time. So we are going to just chop these up, as you can see, into like, like strips. Basically cut the zucchini in half and then just cut it lengthwise. You can do you can do them into rounds as well if you prefer. I kind of like doing it like this. It's sort of like zucchini fries. And then what I'm going to do is just in a bowl, I'm going to put some avocado oil. You can use as much or as little as you would like. Usually this is about maybe a few, maybe about 2 tablespoons, and then whatever seasonings you have, I kind of mix it up. Today I'm going to use this like garlic salt, some onion powder, and the smoked chili salt. And then I'm also going to add some flax meal, and this kind of gives it a little bit of some texture. I'm just going to put that in the bowl, and then we are going to add the zucchini strips in there, and then I'm just going to toss those up, and then they will be ready for the oven. So here is the zucchini strips. They are all ready to go in the oven. You can see they are nicely coated with the seasonings and the flax meal. You could put even more flax meal if you'd like. It really gives it a nice texture, and it's a great, added, way to get some extra fiber as well into your diet. So I'm going to put the oven on about 400, 425, and I will just cook these until they are like a little browned around them and nice and a little crispy, and they will be so delicious. So once I put the zucchini in the oven, what I did was I rinsed off the escarole leaves and I just kind of patted them dry a little bit with some paper towels. I really have to get a salad spinner. I think it's going to save me a lot on using these extra paper towels. But what I'm going to do is just going to set it aside in a bowl. I'm not going to make the soup today, but now what I'm going to do is just have everything prepped so that way tomorrow I can just throw it in the pan and I have everything ready to cook my soup. All right, so the escarole is put to the side. Now we are going to wash the celery, and I even wash the greens because I'm going to use those in my stock for my soup. And if you don't make a soup right away, what you can do is put them in a Ziploc like freezer bag, and you can just save them for a later date. It's a really great way to, make sure you're using everything. And then just for a fun thing too, I always used to save these little ends of the celery when my kids were little and they would like to paint. And if you look at it, it kind of looks like a flower. I know this might seem a little odd and crazy, but just dry it off a little bit and they can use it as a little stamp to make little flowers. And it is a fun way to, like I said, reuse everything. And then I also took the collard greens and I sprayed those as well. And those are soaking. And then I will rinse those off and just let them sit on paper towels and dry slightly. So next what I did was I just took my kitchen scissors and I just did like a quick little rough cut of the collard greens. And what I did was I used these freezer bowls. I get these at Aldi's. They are, keep your eye out for these because these are a really great way to save on using like those freezer bags. So what I did was I just lined one of the freezer bowls with a little bit of parchment. It just helps from the collard greens from sticking to the bowl when they freeze. And then I just kind of covered a little bit with the parchment. Put the lid on. I will keep this in the freezer for whenever I want to make a quick meal. It will stay fresh for a very long time. In my house, it doesn't last that long, but it is a great way to store your fresh veggies. So then once I was done with the collard greens, I moved on to the celery, and what I did was I just, I took a bowl and I put a wet paper towel inside the bowl. This will keep your celery very fresh, and then I just chopped them up into like in half and like little sticks, just easy for dipping. And then what I did was I took all the extra, like the greens and just a few extra stalks, and I chopped them up into little bits for the, for the escarole soup, and I just put those in a separate bowl as well. And that way I am all set, to make my soup tomorrow. And then we also have some celery sticks for snacking. So by this time the zucchini was finally finished, and what I did was I just took it out. I put it in one of my glass containers, and what I did also was I sprinkled it with a little bit of some extra salt, some of this Redmond's real sea salt. I really enjoy this. It's really great if you are on keto. It's really good to get that, that really good salt into your diet. So I just sprinkled a little bit more of that on top, and then I just had my zucchini all ready for the week. So next we are onto the salad greens. So I put them in 2 of my big bowls and I sprayed them with the vinegar spray as I did with the rest of the veggies. I'll let those sit for a few minutes, and then I will also clean my pea shoots as well once those are done, and the bok choy. And then while those are rinsing off, I'm going to chop up all my my purple scallions and my garlic and get those ready to prep for the week as well. So here are the onions and the garlic all prepped and chopped up, and I put them into 2 separate little glass dishes. I love these glass storage bowls. They are so great. I got these at Sam's Club quite a while ago, and actually I believe they still do have them. I think they even have them online as well. I highly recommend them. It was a big set for like $20. If I can link it, I will link it down below for you guys. I also put some in the bowl with the celery that was for the soup, and also threw the chopped carrots in there as well. So it is in one bowl and just ready to go so I can prepare my soup for tomorrow. So here you go, guys. Here is everything ready and prepped for the week. Everything is in a nice little separate bowl. A lot of times I will use the glassware dishes. Sometimes I will use some plastic as well. Kind of just depends on the vegetable. If it's something I want to reheat, I like to keep it in the glass dishes. Here is the mixture for the soup. Like I said before, I can just throw that in the pan. And then here is the escarole as well. So that is all ready to go. I put it in with a little bit of some paper towel just to keep some of the moisture out as well. And then I have all my salad greens as well. I usually keep those in a plastic bowl since it's not something that I reheat. And then also, I did clean the pea shoots and the other salad greens as well. And then I did cook the radishes up, which I know they are not here on the table, but I cooked those up just like I had done in the previous video, and I made like a sweet and spicy radish mixture. It's from that vegan keto cookbook, and there are my, there's my onions and my garlic as well. So that way when I am cooking some other things throughout the week, I have all of this ready to go. I really hope you guys enjoyed checking out what I prepped to get my week started. And don't forget, I also made the cookies as well at the beginning. But I hope you guys really enjoyed. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you love watching these meal prep videos. I try to make different things every week for you guys so you can check them out. And if you are new here, don't forget to subscribe as well, and also hit that bell notification so you know when I am uploading a video. And as always, guys, I thank you so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you soon. Bye, guys.